Hey guys, New York Dan here with an update on this damn fuel tank. I'm almost ready to get it back in. I know this has been going on a while. I've been procrastinating on this because it's such a problem, man. It's a real ball buster. Okay, I finally got it cleaned out. I put the shop vac hose down here and I blew it with compressed air just to get the last little bits out, whatever might be in there. There's some debris like dust and junk, just to be on the safe side. It's looking pretty good in there. There's actually a bowl in the middle, like a pan, to trap, to prevent the fuel from sloshing around as much. I'm gonna show you right now. But I'm gonna show you some other junk I found while I'm doing this. So anybody that's got a Ford Power Stroke, hey, it's bad damn news, man. If something happens with your fuel system like this is the kind of crap that will make you trade the vehicle in or junk it. That's what this is. It's a mess of a job to do, and it's going to cost a lot. If I wasn't doing this myself, I live in a blue state. There's a lot of sales tax on everything. The tank itself could be $500, right? If you saw my other videos, I actually cut a hole in the tank down here actually, and I power washed that tank out myself and I cleaned it up. I was able to save it. It wasn't really rusted inside. It just had a lot of junk. So just the part right there. Then the fuel pickup, which I cleaned up myself, and I got the new boot for it, the rubber boot. I'm going to show you that stuff. I looked online to source it, freaking around $100, $150 just for that. So there's $650 worth of parts. Then if you have labor involved, you throw in the tax, the sales tax on it, you're looking at this job would run you probably around $2,000 where I live. Probably around $2,000 I would have wasted trying to get this thing repaired. That's bad. And the problem is you take it to a mechanic, right? Depending upon how good that mechanic is, what are they going to do? They're going to hook up a computer, right? They're going to plug in the computer. They're going to try to do something that's lazy. They're not going to want to take that tank out. They're going to try to diagnose it, right? Then they're going to bill you. They're going to be like, well, we'll change your fuel filter. You're going to be like going around, like chasing your own tail. And it's going to run up a huge bill. The guy, like I put a new fuel pump in here. This thing probably caused my old fuel pump to burn out, right? So the mechanic's going to put the new pump in. He's just going to do the standard junk, and they're going to bill you up the wazoo for it. Then the pump will burn out again. You'll get stuck again because the tank's full of junk. You'll go around in a circle here. And finally, after you drop thousands of dollars, they'll be like, well, it might be in the fuel tank. We got to take that out and look at what's going on. Then they're going to run up like a $2,000 bill doing the fuel tank. The whole damn shindig could end up costing you $5,000 at the end of the day if your Power Stroke starts acting up because of this. I'm going to show you some of the stuff I found. I was just taking it apart while it's fresh in my mind. Let me explain this. Okay, so I got this boot. This is the brand new boot. I put it on. I cleaned this whole thing up. The O-ring seal, it's right around here. The O-ring seal looked good. It seals in here. This is the chamber that has like a thermostat. I blew compressed air through here to make sure everything's good. It's pretty clean because the fuel going through the thermostat was on the return loop. So it was filtered by the van's fuel system, the big fuel filter and everything. Plus, I put in an extra big filter before the fuel pump on here. So mine's really good. Okay, then The deal is these two filters, I just did a video before and I actually was incorrect. I said one of them was filtering the fuel coming back from the loop. That's not true. They go in here, and this whole thing, by the way, is upside down because it's not in the tank. But yeah, these little things, the bottom line is they pop in here like this. I think they're standing upright. The filter gets sucked through here, and then it goes through the middle of these two sock filters. So the dirt gets stuck inside this sock filter. That's where the dirt gets stuck. The problem is it's a very fine mesh. So what I did is I put a filter under the van. I'm leaving these out. My pre-filter under there is something I can actually get at. This is stuck in your fuel tank. It's hard to get at this tank. It's a bitchin' job. What I did do is I marked in the van floor where this panel is, where it would necessarily sit. I drilled 4 holes. Now, I don't want to get involved with cutting my floor up yet. I want to see how this solution works. But if it goes bad again, what I could do is lower the tank down just a little bit and possibly cut, especially if I don't cut on this side. If I cut part of a square out here and then I bend the metal up of the floor of the van, I might be able to take this thing out from inside the van and look into the tank to see what's going on down there. The benefit of that would be that I wouldn't have to drain all the fuel out of the tank, because that's another bitchin' job. I actually have the fuel in these containers here. I have jerry cans outside here. It took probably about 8 cans of jerry cans to drain it out. It's a 35-gallon tank, and mine was around half full. Maybe even more than that. The problem is when this thing goes bad, you're not getting whatever fuel you have in there is in there. It's not like, unless you're going to plan for proactively doing this and you're going to burn your fuel out first. It might not be a bad idea, actually, if you really want to be on the safe side. If you use your truck a lot and you need it to work. Now, this thing here, if this plugs up, and I think it's because of fuel gelling, I said this before in the other video, this will actually allow fuel in here as like an emergency. So what I did is I actually made holes in this. This is a plastic mesh in here, kind of a nylon type thing. I made bigger holes in there. These holes are so tiny, I'm afraid that they're going to get slimed up or something. So I poked bigger holes in. I have a pre-filter before the fuel pump. As long as the debris can fit through these fuel lines, and I think it will be fine. And then this is the return, and what it does is it either recirculates it in this chamber if the temperatures are super cold, or it squirts the fuel out this little one-way valve if the temperatures are warm. Now, I don't know why they have this little flapper thing here so the fuel can't go backward. I don't exactly know what the point of that is, but I put that back on there. So this saga is coming to an end here, hopefully a good end. These are the vents that pop onto the tank. It's got some kind of a vent system. When the fuel, maybe if it's sloshing around and stuff, this is some kind of a system. I'm just going to put it back where exactly how I found it. This vinyl hose I'm going to replace. This is one of the vents that goes up by the fuel filler neck. This vinyl holds up pretty good for diesel fuel. This is actually from my boat. I had this bilge line. This stuff's pretty expensive if you go to West Marine. But it's smooth inside, so you can put it on and you can use a hose clamp to seal it. It should work, hopefully. Yeah, it's pretty smooth. I think it will work. Hey, Ford Power Stroke owners, this is a tough situation. You know, It sucks. They didn't build it like a Benz. And that's what the bottom line is. Hey, if you're driving your truck and it starts to cut out on you, if you feel it starting to cut out, you're pressing the pedal down and it's sluggish. The engine's starting to get louder when it idles. This is probably what is going on with your system. You probably got a fuel system problem. And the other problem is you really need to put a vacuum gauge before your fuel pump so that you can see exactly what's going on with the system, and a pressure gauge after your fuel pump. That way you know what's going on with it. You can, if you feel something going on, you can look at those gauges and that will tell you what's going on. It will even tell you if you put a pre-filter on the tank, it will tell you if it's plugging up. That much it will tell you. There's one other thing I wanted to show you guys. This is important. If you're doing this kind of work, right? And I got this for cheap. I got this from Harbor Freight Tools. And all this is, this was like what they were using like during COVID. It's just a face shield thing you put on your head. This thing is great because you can breathe. It's not like wearing a mask that's restricting your breathing when you're doing work under the car. This will keep stuff from falling in your face. You can tell my face, I already got junk on it. Okay, this isn't a phony, one of those phony YouTubers that, I'm making crap up or I'm pretending to do something outlandish. I'm doing this for real because I have to repair this crap because I need it to drive. So get yourself one of those face shields. It's well worth it. Anytime you're working like under a car, that's going to help you tremendously. And I've gotten stuff in my eyes before from working under the car. It's messed up. That's why it's a good idea to wear glasses too, just to be on the safe side when you're doing any of this junk. You could end up spraying something at your face. I was doing that surface shield, spraying some of that stuff. It's like oil under the van, right? I'm like working like upside down, that face shield. It stopped the surface shield from the mist from going in my face. Even with glasses on, some of that can go around your glasses. But yeah, guys, be careful. Hey, good luck. If you got the Power Stroke diesel, this is what it's all about here. And I'm going to be working on the Benz soon, and I cannot wait, because working with the hood up above the car, doing stuff like that stuff's actually fun. It's actually fun to do that. Working underneath it is, this stuff underneath, it's really tough, man. It's easier, I think, to work on the Benzes than almost to do this junk, especially with a massive item like this fuel tank. It's just tedious. I've been putting this off so long, dreading putting this stuff back, figuring all this out. This has been a tedious one. So I'm looking forward to fun stuff. I'm getting the 300 SD. It's a W140, the massive Benz. I got to do a few things on that, including change the glow plug. Oh, compressor came on. Change the glow plug. Change the, something else I got to do on it. I got to take the intake manifold off to do that. I'm going to clean it out. And this is the notorious rod bender. We're going to see what's in that intake manifold. I kind of have a hunch why these engines had a rod bending problem. And I'm going to show you guys why I think that's happened. Why this engine has the problem. Mine, luckily, I don't think it's happened to. I don't think it's bent. I think it runs really well. But I think I know what's going on, and it has to do with the intake manifold. So we're going to look at that, and I got to change one of the pump elements on the injection pump is leaking. Believe it or not, I actually got the parts from the Mercedes dealer, a seal for that injection pump. And I'm going to try to take that apart. Hopefully I don't mess it up. I'm a little afraid. This is a newer type injection pump. It has the 6 cylinders, the 6 elements. It's a little more complicated looking than the old Mercedes pumps. They were actually more robust. So I got to tackle that. And amongst other things, I'm also going to be doing some leather repair on the seats. I'm going to be detailing this car up. I'm going to show you like how to repair the inside of it too, to make it look like a new Benz. We're going to turn it, my concept is, this is Benz, is going from something that's like a junker almost to something so fancy. You're going to see it going down the street and you're going to be like, that guy's lighting cigars with $100 bills. That's how fancy we're going to make it. So it's all coming up, guys. I'm going to get busy. The weather's been the problem here in New York. Let's hope it stays cooler. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one.